Hey, my peoples, good evening to you. I hope that everyone is doing well. I'm a little bit tired. I should be getting in bed right now, but I have been trying to get this to you since last week, actually, since late last week, to make you guys aware, if you weren't already, of some of the things that are happening and that could be coming our way, and that I just wanted to make sure that everyone had the opportunity to get themselves prepared for. We should always be prepared, but sometimes, circumstances don't allow us to be prepared as we would like. And so I wanted to make sure to get this to you in case you were not aware of the the possible supply chain issues that we might be facing. So let's jump right into this. I'm going to read from an article from the AP News because I want to make sure that I get everything in there, and then just come back and just tell you what that means for us. So the headline reads, with strike looming, progress is reported in talks between Eastern and Gulf ports and dock workers. With a strike deadline looming, that's tonight, you guys, like at midnight, 12:01 tonight. We are just hours away from this possible deadline. With strikes looming, the union for 45,000 dock workers and the group representing East and Gulf Coast ports have exchanged wage offers, leaving a ray of hope that a deal can be reached without a major work stoppage. Yes, you heard that right, a work stoppage, like supply chain issues, like think pandemic, think toilet paper going crazy, think empty shelves that you could not get things for, think that kind of foolishness that we had back at the pandemic possibly happening again. In a statement, the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents 36 ports from Maine to Texas, said that both sides have moved from their previous positions. The alliance said it also asked the union to extend the current contract. The International Longshoremen Association is threatening to strike at 12:01 a.m. Tuesday in a move that could silence ports that handle about half the ship cargo coming in and going out of the U.S. Now, just late last week, they had been talking about this, but this has been going on for a moment, actually. Were you guys aware of this? Because somehow or another, it slipped past my radar in my busy life, probably yours too. That's why my life be like, all over the place. Sometimes it feels like. However, we still need to be aware of the things that are happening in and around us and that can potentially affect us. And what is concerning to me is that I heard earlier, I believe it was the governor of New York saying, oh, everything's fine. We've got this under control. People don't need to worry about going to the grocery store and stocking up. Well, if they're telling me not to do it, then that's probably a good bet that I might want to go ahead and do those things because something's coming down the pike and you don't want to wait until the last minute. Let me ask you this question. I want you to think. Just close your eyes and think for a moment. If you picture your pantry shelves and you picture your cabinets, if you had to survive from just that alone, would you be good for 4 weeks? Without going to the grocery store? No phoning in an order, no driving to the grocery store, like we're saying the things are not there on the shelves anyway, because that it's always just a just-in-time situation that they have at the grocery stores. They only have enough for about 3 days, if they probably even have that. If you think about your pantry shelves and you think about what you have in your home, do you have enough where you could comfortably, you and your family, survive and not really feel like you're missing a beat for 3 months? Now I want you to think about this. Think about your food. Think about your water. Think about medications. Think about personal hygiene. Think about the little incidentals that we literally kind of take for granted. We do take for granted because we can just run to the store and get it, or we can just phone in the order and have it dropped off and delivered. Are you comfortable with what is in your pantry? What is in your medicine cabinet? What is in your bathroom? What's on your shelves? Do you have enough dishwashing detergent? Do you have enough laundry detergent? Do you have enough of your medical supplies? Are you on medications? Remember a few months back when there was the The phones were, I mean, it's happened so regularly. As a matter of fact, it just happened today with all the outages for Verizon. Were you aware of that? That there were mass outages for Verizon cell phones. Well, remember just a few months back where that happened, and people were not able to get medications. They couldn't get their medications phoned in, or couldn't get their medications to them, and what have you. Would you be able to have enough of what you needed is the question that I'm asking. Because yeah, they're saying right now that they're closer than they have been. They've kind of changed their tune on what they're bringing to the table as far as negotiations. That's great. I mean, I think that they most definitely should be paid a fair wage, a better wage, however that looks. But say that that does not happen. Say that they don't come to a negotiation and 12:01 a.m. hits, and these 45,000 dock workers decide, well, we're not going forward, we're not coming to work. Do you realize that just as in the pandemic, and even now it's happening, that those cargo ships are going to, if possible, be rerouted, but there's not even a guarantee that they can be rerouted to the west side, the western side ports. They may just have to kind of be in limbo like they were during the pandemic. And so that means that businesses will be affected, and so will our personal lives, because you'll start to see once again the shelves start to dwindle. Things will be harder to get. Just today I was told that someone had placed an order and they only needed a few items, but half of their order couldn't be fulfilled. And when they asked why, it's because they didn't receive a truck for the grocery store. It's not something that's just now happening, you guys. It's been happening, and we're just basically getting a whiff of it. We're just kind of getting wind of this, and really this has been going on since July, these negotiations or possible negotiations, and we're kind of the last ones to know. And if you're not already prepared, you're not going to have the opportunity to run out at the last minute and grab things. So you need to see and take account and take stock of what you have. Do you need to bulk up what is in your pantry? Do you need to bulk up on your medicines? Do you need to bulk up on your household items? You need to know that you have at least enough for 4 weeks. Because here's something that I also was reading about, is that say they strike. Say the strike only goes on for a few days, maybe a week. Do you know it actually takes twice as long, like 2 to 3 weeks longer, to get everything back on track, everything back in line, just from a few days of a strike? Now imagine if they strike and this thing drags on for weeks. Can you even imagine how challenging it is going to be for so many people just to get basic necessities? People, I'm telling you, you got to be prepared. Be prepared, just like we do for a hurricane. And if you don't use it, if there is no strike, if you don't use it right then, you've lost nothing. You've bought insurance. You can still use it. You can stock it away and leave it on your pantry shelves, for whatever might come, for the next thing that may happen, because there will always be a next thing. So I just want you guys to be aware. I want you to be wise. I don't want you to wait to the last minute. We can't afford to be waiting until the last minute. One thing I've learned is if they tell you not to do something, then you probably should do it. If they're telling you that everything's going to be okay, you might want to look twice, and you might want to make your own decision and do what's best for yourself and your family. Don't wait to the last minute. Guys, keep your eyes on this. Keep your eyes on this and the things that are still to come, because we all know we have an election coming up here in a very short amount of time, and we have a lot of things that are happening. We've just had a major hurricane that has devastated so many. Please pray for the people that have been affected by that. Asheville, North Carolina, I heard it was horrible. We need to keep all of the people affected in our prayers. We were spared here in my neck of the woods in Florida, and I'm grateful and thankful for that. But I would not want to see anyone else have to go through hurricanes. But just like we do with hurricanes and we prepare and we stock up, this is what we need to be doing now. You need to keep your eyes open. You need to keep your ears open as to what's happening, because with the election coming up and different things that are happening, we don't know what could possibly come down the pike. But as much as possible, we still need to be ready and we still need to prepare. We don't have to be fearful. We don't have to be anxious. We don't have to be in dread. Just be wise. Use wisdom. Prepare yourselves. So keep your eyes on this, guys. In the morning, check and see. Let's see what happened. Perhaps something will come out at the nick of time and the strike will be averted. That would be amazing. That would be great. But if it's not, take stock of what you already have and then bulk up on what you might need and fortify yourselves and fortify your families, okay? All right, guys. It's time for me to head off to bed. I'm tired. I hope you guys had a marvelous Monday, and I will catch you later, my peoples. Have a good one. Bye-bye.